Sometimes I think about how a country can be on the road to, to like peaceful change, and then boom.
Yeah.
In a single day, it just vanishes.
Right.
Poof, gone. It's like what happened in Chile,
Mm-hmm.
September 11, 1973.
Yeah, it's a date that's just etched in history.
It really is.
Yeah.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
A tragedy that we're still feeling today.
It was one of those stories that just grabs you, forces you to think about like how fragile democracy really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
How power can be so alluring, but also so dangerous.
Absolutely.
And just the consequences.
Yeah.
The choices that individuals make, but also nations.
So today we're diving deep into the Chilean coup.
Mm.
And we're not just looking at what happened, like why it matters.
Right.
Why should we care all these years later?
Yeah. And we've got some pretty amazing sources for this.
Oh, yeah.
We've got firsthand accounts, historical analyses, even some declassified intelligence documents that really shed light on what was going on, the forces at play.
It sounds like it's complicated.
It is. It's a very complex tapestry. Yeah. You have political ideology, economic turmoil, Cold War tensions. It all kind of weaves together.
Yeah.
So to really get this, to understand this event, we got to start with the guy at the center of it all.
Okay.
Salvador Allende.
So Allende, a socialist.
Yeah.
He had this dream of a more equitable Chile.
Right.
Came to power in 1970, won by a tiny margin.
Yeah, it was a really close election.
His vision was, he called it the Chilean path to socialism.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty bold.
Yeah.
Aiming to, nationalize key industries.
Yes.
Redistribute land, expand social programs, the whole 9 yards.
And what's interesting is he wasn't some, radical revolutionary type.
Right.
Calling for, heads to roll and everything.
Yeah.
He was a doctor. He was a senator. This was a guy who believed in democracy.
Wow.
He believed in working within the system to achieve social change.
But I'm guessing his victory didn't make everyone happy.
Oh, it definitely triggered some alarm bells, not just in Chile, but internationally.
Oh, really?
Particularly in the U.S.
I see.
The Cold War was at its peak.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea of a socialist leader in Latin America, that was a threat to the U.S. government.
Yeah, I can see that.
And our sources actually show that the CIA, they got involved.
Really?
In covert ops aimed at destabilizing Allende's government.
Oh, wow. So this context, it's crucial, right? Because it's what fueled the division in Chile.
Yeah, definitely. Created this atmosphere of fear and suspicion. You had Allende supporters on one side, largely working-class Chileans, really eager for change.
And on the other side?
You had the wealthy elite, the landowners, powerful people, conservative political forces, all totally opposed to Allende's reforms.
What about the military, though? Weren't they always seen as, like a stabilizing force in Chile?
Right. They were traditionally seen as the guarantors of stability. Yeah. Allende, maybe naively, believed he had their loyalty. He thought they would uphold the Constitution no matter what. That was a fatal assumption.
I was about to say, something tells me that didn't work out so
well. No, it didn't. 1973, Allende appoints General Augusto Pinochet as army commander. That was a turning point.
The turning point, hell.
He did it to try and appease the military, keep them on his side, but he accidentally gave a very cunning and ambitious man the power to seize control.
Oh, wow. So even the best intentions can backfire, I guess.
Especially when the stakes are this high.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Allende's presidency wasn't all smooth sailing even from the start, right? He inherited an economy that was already kind of messed up.
Already dealing with inflation and inequality.
And his reforms, he was trying to fix these issues, but I'm guessing it didn't go perfectly to plan.
Well, they actually made things worse at first.
Really?
Nationalizing industries without a solid plan, that led to problems, production shortages.
I see.
And redistributing land. Meant to help the poor.
Right.
But it messed with agricultural output.
So it was a recipe for disaster.
It really was. A polarized society, a struggling economy. The government was under attack from inside and out.
Yeah.
The perfect recipe for instability.
And I'm guessing this is where Pinochet comes in.
This is exactly what Pinochet was waiting for.
Yeah.
On the surface, he's all loyal, but behind the scenes, he's consolidating power.
Oh, wow.
Building alliances with Allende's opponents, just waiting for his moment to strike.
And that moment.
September 11th, 1973. It was just, a normal morning in Santiago.
Right.
But you could just feel it in the air, like something was off.
Yeah.
By midday, The city was under siege. Fighter jets, tanks, soldiers storming government buildings. It was all planned out very meticulously.
Wow, I bet people were terrified. 1 minute life is normal, and the next you're caught in a coup.
You can only imagine the fear and chaos, and we know that from the sources.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was brutal and fast.
So what happened to Ende?
He was holed up in La Moneda Palace, made a last stand, broadcast a radio address, urged resistance, but you could barely hear him over the gunfire and explosions.
Wow. A democratically elected leader, facing his own military. That's a powerful image.
It is. And then, well, accounts differ on the exact, what happened, but he died that day in the palace. Officially suicide. But some people believe the military killed him. Either way, his death, it marked the end of Chilean democracy.
And the start of Pinochet's rule.
A brutal dictatorship.
Yeah, I've heard about this. I mean, the years that followed were pretty dark.
Definitely a dark chapter for Chile. It was systematic human rights abuses, thousands imprisoned, tortured, killed. There was this thing, the Caravan of Death.
Caravan of Death, what's that?
It was basically a death squad right after the coup. Their whole mission was to wipe out any resistance to Pinochet.
Jeez, so they just traveled around?
Yeah, town to town, rounded up prisoners, these sham trials,
oh, wow.
executions.
It's hard to even grasp that kind of violence. How did he stay in power for so long?
17 years, right.
Fear. That was his main weapon. The brutality was so bad, it silenced everyone. You couldn't speak out, couldn't even think the wrong thing.
It couldn't just be fear, right?
Well, no, you're right. Pinochet was smart politically.
Okay.
He got rid of anyone in the military or the government that he thought wasn't loyal, and he made sure to keep certain groups happy, like the wealthy elite.
And his economic policies were a big part of that, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a mixed bag, Some say he modernized Chile's economy.
Yeah, it's a complicated legacy. He went all in on free markets, privatized industries, cut social programs, opened up to foreign investment.
It sounds pretty radical.
It was. And this group of economists, the Chicago boys, they helped him with all this.
Yeah.
They were trained in Chicago at the university. And it did lead to economic growth, but...
It wasn't even. Poverty and inequality went up even with the growth. The rich got richer, the poor and working class.
They got the short end of the stick.
Absolutely. And all of this while he's cracking down on any opposition. It's a perfect example of how economics can be used to control people.
It's pretty messed up. But like everything, dictatorships don't last forever. So how did Pinochet's end?
Well, the Cold War started to thaw in the 80s. International pressure started building. And inside Chile, people were getting braver.
Makes sense.
And in 1988, there were all these protests, strikes, and Pinochet. He agreed to a referendum.
Wow. So after all those years of repression, the people got a voice.
They did. And the No campaign, their slogan was, "Joy is coming."
Catchy.
It was a very hopeful, vibrant campaign, and they got people from all sides to come together. People were ready for democracy again.
What was the result?
No, won.
Big time. Did Pinochet just accept that?
Not exactly. He tried to hold on to power, even hinted at another coup. But the military wasn't with him this time, and the world was watching. So in 1990, he stepped down.
Democracy restored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
What?
He got a sweet deal. Part of stepping down was that he wouldn't be prosecuted for, for all the stuff that happened.
Right.
He stayed head of the army for a few years, and then he got a seat in the Senate for life.
Wow. Talk about avoiding consequences.
It was a huge slap in the face to a lot of Chileans, especially the families of the victims. They wanted justice.
Totally. So, okay, Pinochet's gone, democracy's back, but his impact, it's still there.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. It's like a shadow hanging over the country.
What do you mean?
Chile has come a long way, economically, politically. But Pinochet's rule, it left deep wounds, the human cost, the trauma. It's still felt today.
I mean, it's wild to think about, right? Decades later, and Pinochet's ghost is still kind of hanging over Chile.
It is. They've done so much.
Yeah.
Economically, their democracy is strong now.
Mm-hmm.
But the past, it's not that easy to just forget.
Yeah, I can see that. And how have they dealt with that? I mean, trying to move on, reconcile with everything that happened.
It's really fascinating, that whole process of truth and reconciliation, figuring out how to get justice and heal as a nation at the same time.
Right. Because those are two different things.
They are. And a lot of countries that go through, authoritarian rule, they struggle with this.
So how did Chile do it? What did they actually do to address Pinochet and what his regime did?
Well, right after they got democracy back in 1990, they set up a Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Okay.
Their goal was to really dig into the human rights abuses,
Mm-hmm.
document everything, get the victim stories, and figure out what they could do, like reparations, and how to prevent it from ever happening again.
Man, that's a huge job, especially after all that secrecy and the repression.
It was a huge undertaking, and they had a lot of pushback.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some military guys didn't want to talk. Some witnesses were afraid to say anything, And then the sheer number of crimes, it was overwhelming.
Yeah. Wow. So what happened? I mean, did they get anywhere?
They did. They put together a report, very thorough, laid out all the abuses, named names.
And did people face justice?
Some did. Some lower-level guys involved in the abuses, they got prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
But Pinochet, he had that immunity.
Oh, right. He made that deal.
So he was basically untouchable.
So justice, but not for everyone.
Hmm.
I bet that didn't sit well with a lot of people.
No, especially the families of victims. They're still fighting for justice, for some kind of closure.
Yeah. But at least the truth came out.
Exactly. That report, it was a big step. It acknowledged what happened. It was a foundation, a starting point for national reconciliation.
It's interesting to think about, how other countries have handled similar things?
Oh, yeah.
Some just gave everyone amnesty.
Right.
Like, let's just move on, forget about who did what.
Right.
Others, they went all out with prosecutions.
Yeah, make examples out of them.
Exactly. So where does Chile fit in?
I'd say they took a more balanced approach.
Okay.
They wanted the truth. They wanted to help the victims. But they also knew that some level of letting go was necessary.
Yeah.
It's been a long road and it's still going on, lots of debate. But that's how they've done it.
It really shows that there's no easy answer for this kind of thing.
There isn't. Every country, every situation is different.
Yeah.
Their history, their politics, how they got out of the dictatorship, it all matters. No one solution fits everyone.
But even with all that, what happened in Chile, it has a lot to teach us.
Absolutely.
About, not just the past, but also now and the future.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the importance of being honest about what happened, about acknowledging the victims and finding that balance between justice and healing as a country, these are things that everyone can learn from.
It goes way beyond Chile.
Yeah, it does. It just reminds you that democracy, it's not like you achieve it and that's it.
No.
It's a journey.
It is. You got to work at it. You got to pay attention.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Chilean coup, we want to leave you with this. What lessons can we all take away from this? Not just about history, but about how we live now, how we build our future. How can we, each of us and as a global community, make sure that these mistakes, they don't happen again? How can we make sure that democracy and human rights win? That justice, even if it's hard to get, is something we always strive for. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.